Roots Ministry. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of the Creative Roots team and say thank you. Thank you for joining us today. We see you and we know who you truly are. Like, you are more than your circumstances. And that is the theme for today. You are more than your circumstances. So we've decided to show up as an act of service for people and planets. We are here to serve, to help you remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Now, I really want to address something that has really come up in huge this week. I'm recognizing so many people that are saying, this should not be happening to me. There is many people all over the world who have contacted me this week and said, this should not be happening. And there's a rage, there's an anger, there's a frustration, there's a sadness, and there's an incredible pain and suffering. And it's a hard thing to bear witness to when we sit back and we recognize the suffering of ourselves and our own striving for life, our own just trying to get through every day, and then we're then witnessing so many other people who appear to have it a whole lot worse than we do. So we have the people in the many conflicts around the world. We have the many people who are experiencing homelessness. We have the many people who are having extreme issues and challenges around their mental health because they feel unsafe, they feel insecure, they feel threatened by the governments. They feel threatened by the very people that were there to make people safe, you know. So we have people like in America, we have ICE going around getting people, and they've detained even Americans that were born there. And it does appear to be getting way beyond, way beyond any form of reasonable, rational understanding. And this is creating a lot of pain and suffering. We see the same in the UK, different, very different. So the UK, so much homelessness in the UK that's not ever, to my knowledge, people have never faced such homelessness, such suffering on such a scale. It never was a norm to be facing homelessness, to not be able to pay the bills. It was a norm that the cost of living was fair enough to be able to live and to exist and to function fairly comfortably. And now it is not the case. And there's all sorts of diversions where we're taking our eyes off the ball and seeing other things going on around the world, and we're not aware of things that the government are trying to do because we're looking in other directions. So this is also happening across Europe. We know that there's a big immigration thing that they're trying to say, that put a lot of the blame and create fear around immigrants. Now we're all immigrants, and I did go through all this last week. So every single one of us, we're global people. We have our roots, returning to our roots. We're all Africans. There is only truth that none of us are, unless you're African and always been African, that your lineage is pretty much direct from where you are. And the whole perception of being anything other than part of a global family and a one race, the human race, and part of a one planet is, you know, everything else is an illusion. It is the Maya. It is data playing out. So here I am to show up today, to drop into your life, to recognize that you are more than your circumstances, and to bring us back to this place of balance, really, because that's what we need today. We need to recognize that we are more than the roles that we are playing in society. So in society, and even at home, like, I'm a reverend, I'm a mother, I'm a retreat owner, or retreat space place owner. I am the co-founder of this ministry. I have many roles. I'm a you know, my health's all right. I don't prescribe to a certain description anymore around my health, but I used to. So how we describe ourselves, our I, is very much is it, I thought that was on do not disturb. So how we describe our I is very much how we're identifying with ourselves in the world. Like, we might identify as ourselves as being a mother, and we might think our whole existence is as a mother. We are more than just mothers. You may identify as a father. You are more than just a father. That doesn't make the role that we play any less important. Mothers and fathers and every single role that exists, whether it's straight, whether it's gay, whether it's black, whether it's white, whether it's British, whether it's American, whether it's Portuguese, no matter what your role is that you're identifying with, whether it's even a health condition, it's all an important, intricate part of who you are as a person. It needs to be recognised. It needs to be held with love from a place of compassion and accepted and acknowledged, so that you can grow and develop from that place and space. It's very interesting that to find out who I am and find out who I was below the conditioning, I had to accept and acknowledge all the things that I thought I was, so that I could lose it, which seems bizarre, it seems backwards, but it's as forwards as you're ever going to get. We have to recognise the who we are right here, right now, in this moment, and acknowledge it and address it, so that we can move forward into a more expanded state of awareness, and we can evolve and we can be. So we are more than our roles. We are more than the circumstances we are in. You know, when I've been homeless a few times within my lifestyle and my lifetime, and during this period of, or periods of my life when I've been homeless, I've been curious and I've spoken with more homeless people. And I've met millionaires that have lost it all. I've met people that are veterans, so they'd been out and they'd gone out to fight for their country, all about safety and unity and standing up for what they believe, and they join the military, or they join the Air Force, or they join the Navy, and then eventually they finished their time in there and it was time for them to move on, and circumstances got them, and then before they knew it, they was homeless. You know, the world's very different outside an institution, such as one where you're told when to eat, when to drink, what to do, how to do it, and you've got all your training, and you've not really got the worries that you have because your accommodation, everything's sorted, you're just doing what you're doing and it's all part of the job. Then all of a sudden that's not there anymore, and there doesn't seem to be anything for those steps, or there certainly wasn't, which meant that some incredible people with incredible skills ended up homeless. I've met people on the streets that were doctors. I've met vets, like veterinary surgeons. There isn't, chefs. there isn't any type or any stereotype or any people, there's a whole vast amount of different people with different skills from different places globally who ended up on the streets in the UK. And by sitting and talking to them, some of them were refugees and they'd come over and they'd got nowhere to go. Some were escaping domestic violence. So there's all amounts of people that they're just going about life, paying taxes, doing all sorts of things, and then one day their circumstances change. Some people, things change because of health, some change because of money, and for whatever reason they ended up homeless. Well, their circumstance didn't define them. It didn't stop them being any more of. The only thing that stopped anyone being any more of anything is our thoughts, because that's where it all begins. So everything begins with the thought. Everything that we see, everything in existence began as a thought, and the thought became something that someone took action on, and after someone took action on the thought, then someone went on to put that inspired action into actually making something take shape. So at one point someone designed and made tables, and now most people have them. Pencils, pens, someone one day thought, oh, that would be a great idea, and now there's very little places on earth that don't have a pencil or a pen. So everything that is began with a thought. And when we recognize that what appears to be true, that is that everything began with a thought, we recognize that our thoughts are that lead to our perception, that build our belief system, and our world is built on the belief system that we have. When we then recognize that through this belief system we can come back to who we are and take back our power. We can take back our power and become something way more than we ever thought was possible. So we are more than our circumstances. We don't have to let our circumstances define us. Like, no matter what, we are bigger than our belief systems. We all contain this thing called awareness. And this awareness that we have is more than what we really are, or as in what we really think we are. We are more than our body mind. We are able to witness our body mind. We are able to pay attention to ourselves speaking and thinking, and we're able to co-create with the great resonance there is. So if you notice, like, if there's a problem, you're always there. Like, where's this problem coming from? Is it within you? Is it from something that you're sensing outside of you and you're perceiving it as a problem? Is the circumstance in your life something that you're like, whoa, this makes me less than? Like, what are our thoughts connected with? So many people, when I've sat with them and I'll be walking down the street and I'll see someone and I'll say, may I sit with you for a bit? And they'll look at me a bit strange, because when they're homeless, they feel like they're lower than, they forget that we're all equal. And they sit there, maybe on the floor, whatever, and they don't feel so good. They've not been able to get a wash. They've not been able to access basic services. They've not been able to clean the clothes maybe for a while. They may be really, really hungry and not be thinking of very much else other than the food. You know, they may have forgotten about the hair and the self-care and things like meditation and the tools and the possibilities, because they're just being present with where they're at. And being present with that where they're at is sitting in a whole big deep suffering. And I can acknowledge that and I can relate to that. And I'm sure we all can. We've all had times where things just seem to go so wrong, and then the unthinkable happens. The thing that we always thought would never happen to us happens, whether it's a change in our health, a change in our wealth, a change in our status in some way. So, you know, we're all one step away from a complete change that will throw our lives in a different direction. We are more than our circumstances. So when we recognise that, we're able to recognise where our thoughts are. So we know that there's a possibility that we are more than our current circumstances. We can ask ourselves an empowering question like, how can it get better than this? How can life get better than this? What can I do today to show up in the world? You know, what is my purpose? And if if I'm still here, I must have a purpose. And therefore, what is my purpose? Why am I still here? Why am I living in these experiences? What is it that I can do? How can I grow from this is a really good question. How can I grow from this experience? How can I grow through this experience into a new place of knowing? How can I grow through this and expand and evolve? Because that is what I was put here to do on earth. I was here to expand and evolve into a new place and a new space of knowing. So this part of us, we're able to tune back in and ask ourselves these questions. Sometimes it really takes a lot of training. It certainly did for me, because we have what's called a human negativity bias. It keeps us trapped in, like a broken record, it keeps us trapped in the worry groove. Like, have you got a worry groove? Like, are you trapped in your worry groove? And if you're trapped in a worry groove, you've got this resonance and you're always thinking, oh, say if this happens, say if that happens. When that happens, we're radiating this feeling tone. We're feeling it in our bodies, and we're radiating this fear. We're radiating doubt. We're radiating lack. We're radiating worthlessness. We're radiating worry. And the amazing world outside is responding. There's this, and inside it responds. So there's this great awareness that's always present, and it resonates. It's not a guy in the sky. It's this incredible infinite power, this creator and creation. So it's this energy field, this united field, and it's resonating with us. So those who worry get more to worry about, and it basically picks up what you're radiating. So those people that are all like laughy and happy and clappy, but underneath the sparkly stuff, it's like you can't polish a turd, right? So people are there smiling and happy and going, yes, everything's fine. Yes, 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 marvellous. And actually, what's really going on is they have this feeling tone of fear, doubt, lack and worry, and they're not giving it space. They're keeping it invisible. And when we keep things invisible, we don't allow it space, and then we can't grow through things. We don't acknowledge it. We're trying to pretend it's not there. We're trying to push it down and ignore it. And from that space, we're not able to grow. we're not able to acknowledge, when we're not able to meet ourselves where we're at. So we have to really start to just tune in and recognize what's our truth in this here moment. What is our truth in this here moment? What is real for us in this here moment? And we can do that through the practice of rain, where we're taking a moment to just breathe, just taking that conscious breath, maybe take a couple. And from this place of this taking a breath, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, my mum said to say, take a breath and count to 10. So now, you know, and she had a point. But then you've taken a breath, and you need to recognize what's going on. But many of us recognize what's going on and stick in the worry groove. Then we're staying in it, and then we're feeding it, and then the great resonance that's out there gives us more of whatever it is. When we come back to ourselves and just allow whatever it is, what is it in me right now? What is it that I'm sensing? What is it that I feel in me? Is there a sensation in the body consort that I am feeling right now? Because often we don't get the words, but we get a feeling, because our body consort's always talking to us. It never lets us down. And that's because it contains this great awareness. So it's aware of us, of the body mind. It takes us deeper than our identity, our ego, are who we think we are, and it takes us to this new amazing place and space. It's like, is there a sensation in me right now showing up? And there's a sensation, you know, in my back right now. And then I can recognize where the sensation is, and I can sit with the sensation. So I know there's a sensation there. It may relate to something. There's also ways we can go with the sensation in our bodies, and we can look it up. We can use AI, right use of technology. We can look up what is spiritually, what is the pain or the ache or something in our lower back. And it will give us a wealth of resources according to all the stuff on the internet, and then we can work out what resonates for us, because let's face it, AI can take us so far, but the true supercomputer is that which we're already present in. It's the awareness beyond the awareness. It's the physical self as well that helps to work with this awareness beyond the awareness, that allows us to have this human experience. So we're able to tune in, and we can recognize the R in rain. We can recognize the awareness and what it's bringing up for us from a place of curiosity and without judgment, allowing it to be there. The A in rain, we're allowing it to be there and allowing us to be there with this, what's showing up for us, and saying to ourselves, it's okay, and just making space for you, this feeling, this energy, this sensation right now, and see what happens. What I found is, by being the witness to a sensation, it eventually changes. Energy never stays the same, and sometimes more than others it stays the same for a little while, and then it does change. So everything's unfurling, everything's expanding, everything's evolving, and as it does, it's growing and it's helping us with our knowing. So as we grow and we know more, we glow. We end up glowing. So we go from growing to knowing to glowing. That's cool, isn't it? So we're able to be with the sensations in our bodies, and whatever it was, the pain, the suffering, it all becomes something else. It will start off as one thing, it will turn into another. Be careful not to go down a rabbit hole and just bring yourself back, and like, you are witnessing yourself, you're witnessing these sensations, these feelings. If it helps, try and imagine yourself as coming out of the body and witnessing the body, or imagine yourself talking to yourself like you're your best friend and you're saying, okay, so what is it you're feeling right now? Is it a sensation? You know, you got a word coming up for you, and how do you relate to that word? And don't get caught up in those whatever it is that's coming up. So we're able to investigate. So we're recognizing it, we're allowing it, and then we're investigating from a place of curiosity. Like a child, it's like, why? What is it? How? You know? So we've got a sensation in the body, we're allowing it to be there. We've got we're asking, how can I grow from this? Or what is it that I need right now? How can I meet my needs right now? Like, just, and we're looking at not how do I meet all my needs in all of the world right now. No, we're coming back to ourselves, back to our body consort. How, in this right here, right now moment, can I meet the needs? What is it that I need? What is it my body's telling me it needs? Why do I have an ache in my lower back? Am I not sitting correctly? Do I need to change how I sleep at night? Do I need to turn over the mattress? Is there some reason why, if I'm looking up AI or whatever, different belief systems will say that depending on where it is in the back, it relates to a certain part of us. And it can be our power, it can be our strength, it can be our safety and our security, just all this bits of our lower back below the diaphragm. And when it's these parts of us, we're recognizing that, well, maybe it is because we don't feel safe. And it's okay that we don't feel safe, because now we've acknowledged it. So we know that we don't feel safe, and what can we do to make ourselves feel safe? And if we don't feel safe in this right here, right now moment, what can we do that's reasonable, that's realistic to change that? Changing it right here, right now. Do I need to make an adjustment so that I can change where I live, or how I live, or who I live with? Can I change how I allow people to treat me? And how can I change how I talk to myself and how I meet myself now in this moment? So we're asking ourselves empowering questions that lead us to evolve and expand our understanding, our awareness of where we are right here, right now in this moment. And then we can go to the N of rain. So we've recognised, we've allowed, we've investigated what it is, and now we're going to nurture. What can we do to nurture ourselves? What can we do to meet our needs and just say it's okay? And to celebrate the fact that we've actually allowed ourselves and been able to recognise that there is something going on, and to allow the something to be there, and to ask ourselves questions. That stuff needs celebrating. So we can celebrate with that. Maybe we get ourselves a cup of tea, maybe we can have a biscuit, maybe we can go out for a walk, or maybe we can have a dance, put a tune on and really celebrate a celebration dance, because these things, every single step forward needs celebrating. There is no steps back either. So every time we take that time to honour our truth, celebrate your win. Celebrate it. I'm going to celebrate it with you, Yes. So I'm very happy that we get to do that. I'm very happy we can get to become aware of our thoughts, that we can get to recognize things. And I want to mention here that sometimes we have this thing where we are not able to feel anything at all. So often we try and recognize, it's like, what is up with me right now? And I've had it myself where you can feel numb. And the thing is with numbness, it isn't no thing, it is nothing at all. It isn't not important. Numbness is where there is so much growth and so much happening that it's just a bit much, and it's in that numb state of healing. You know, like if we cut ourselves and we have a wound, sometimes it goes a bit numb, and where we've cut, maybe we've scratched ourselves, but there's a space, like it's very ouchy, and there's a space around the ouch where it's very numb, and that's because that's where the healing's happening. So when you feel numb, you're not feeling nothing at all. You just, there's a lot of healing needing to go on right now. And the way that you can heal the numbness is to just be present with the numbness and allow the numbness to be there. You don't even have to investigate the numbness if you don't want, but just that being, recognizing I feel numb, and allowing the numbness to be present. And then if even with investigation, if nothing comes up, remember to nurture yourself and say, wow, how grateful I am that I was able to sit, because it's so brave to be able to sit and be with that numbness. It takes such courage to show up and work on ourselves. It takes such courage to become self-aware. It takes such courage to get up and show up in a day, especially when we think that we're our circumstances and our circumstances appear to define us. But we are beneath the role, we are souls. We are bigger than our belief systems. We are so much more than that. So the rain meditation, or the pause and the returning to the recognizing, allowing, investigating from a place of curiosity, like a child, that happy curiosity, you know, like a dog. Oh, it's all curious. It's not going to take things personal. It's just curious. And then remembering, no matter what happens, to celebrate the fact that you actually did it, and nurture yourself and meet yourself with some love and compassion after that. That is important. That is how we grow, so that we know, so that we can glow. So I've got an affirmation today, and it's, I am more than my circumstances. So I want you to be aware that every time that you think, oh, but I'm overweight, or but I had too many drinks today, or but I'm an alcoholic, or but I'm homeless. You know, all these times where we can recognize something and we think that our circumstance is defining who we are, please remember the affirmation. I am more than my circumstances, because you are so much more than your circumstances. You are the awareness behind the awareness. You are the soul behind the role. You know, there's so many aspects of you. You are a diamond in the rough. You are just simply, there is so much more to you than you could ever believe, that you would ever begin to think about. There is so many facets of you. There are so many skills that you're just not aware of. I mean, how do we get to know these things if no one tells us, right? And, you know, many of us can spend a lifetime thinking that we're not something, or not reaching our potential, because we haven't got support, or people didn't, you know, people took advantage of us, or we weren't able to get over the fact that our thoughts had become a thing and we were stuck in that worry groove. And today is the day where I say to you, you are more than your circumstances. You know, so please do remember that, or pop it on your phone or something, or write it on the back of your hand, or put it on a note in your pocket, and every time you'll pull it out, you can see, I am more than my circumstances. You know, souls not roles, guys. Souls not roles. So remember, our language matters. Remember that every thought becomes a thing, and by coming back to our thoughts, we're able to overcome anything that's disempowering, and we're able to come back to the light who we really are and grow. So we've now got a prayer. I wrote a prayer this morning, and I always like to write these prayers because it's so important for me to show up so that we can grow up together, so that we can know up together, so we can glow up together. You know, we are an incredible presence on the planet. We have so much potential. So if I can show up in your life today and help you remember who you were before the world told you who to be, to reconnect you to the roots of who you are, and I can help just one person, then I am a very, very happy bunny, you know. So I am so grateful that we are more than our circumstances. I am so grateful that our circumstances do not define us. I am so grateful that we are the souls beneath the roles. I'm so grateful for the right use of AI so that we're able to investigate things and go and explore who we really are, and we don't need to go outside ourselves. We don't need anything other than right who you are right there in this moment, you know. And right here, right now, in this moment is all there ever is, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful that from this space and this place of gratitude, that I recognize this one presence, this one awareness that's within each and every one of us. I feel this presence that's never absent. And that's no matter where I am, no matter what I do, I feel there's a presence that's never absent. And I know that this limitless source and force of life is, you know, I know it is. I know of this awareness. I experience this awareness. And this absolute awareness is aware of all things, everywhere. It's the space between the cells in quantum science. You look in, it's the unified field. It's the thing that unifies the unified field. It's the thing, if you look and you go down and down and down, it's that thing, it's that space between everything that scientists find. It's the no thingness. The no thing that's always a something that always becomes. From no thing, something always appears. It's the one thing with many names, but also the nameless one. And it's an awareness behind awareness. And from this place of absolute awareness, I know that we each contain this living awareness, and we are more than our bodies. We are more than our circumstances. This incredible awareness, it holds infinite possibilities and potential. And we each contain this infinite possibilities and infinite potential. I know from this place and this space in our body, mind, it can never be hurt, harmed, or endangered. It's the part of us that's it can never be born and never die. Like, it's truly amazing that we contain this one bit in us that can never be harmed, no matter what's going on outside of us, and it lives on. That's truly wonderful. And it existed before our very life on the planet. It'll exist after after we leave our body consort, after we make our transition. This awareness will continue. For this internal radiance, it will radiate inspiration regardless. And I know there is always a resonance which replies to our feeling tone, that returns what we radiate. And when we raise our awareness, we raise our potential, and we can expand and evolve beyond our belief system. So we get to grow, and we get to know, and we get to glow beyond anything that we ever thought was true. And I know that each one of us is growing through life. Just like the caterpillar grows through life, it doesn't know that it cannot fly. It doesn't know. It just knows it's got to take time. It's got to come back to itself. It's just got to rest. It's got to take that time to just come back. We too didn't know we could fly. But I know that we all exist right here and right now, because no matter what we're growing through, we are more than our circumstances, and we are cycling right here, right now, in this very moment. We are living, we are part of the cycle of life that's moving from one state of our existence to one state of being to the next. We are souls, not roles. Our roles do not define us. We cannot be defined. We are more than our pain. We are more than our pleasure. We are more than our health. We are more than our wealth. We contain an awareness that takes us from more to more of what we resonate. So I am thankful, so thankful that right here, right now, we can resonate together with purpose. Not even needing to know our purpose, but we know we have potential. We know that our potential, it never fades, never runs out, and always remains radiating and resonating and returning as results. Right now, right here, in every day, in every way. So I release these words knowing right now that you're rebirthing your own reality. And this prayer, it will always return in results, no matter what time you hear these words, no matter what you're doing. The great resonance is resonating with your radiance right now, is returning as results, so you can grow and glow, so you can keep knowing and expanding. So we are this awareness, so we be this awareness, so we be eternally. I'm so thankful that this is so, and so it is. And so we are. And so it shall always be. Ashe. Aho. Amen. And now I'm going to end today's service with this blessing. Don't forget that we are here every day of the week on Facebook. We are every day of the week on YouTube, on Instagram. We have got so many things that we are sharing with you. We've got meditations, we've got workshops, we've got so many things that we do for you as an act of service, so that you can always access what you need to be able to grow and know and glow. So your blessing, not just today, but every day. Not just this week, but every week. May you recognize your resistance. May you remember you're bigger than your beliefs. May you raise your radiance, and may you rise above your adversity and rebirth your reality and reach the potential and purpose that you were always meant to be before the world told you who to be. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for our presence here today. I'm so grateful we could connect, and I'm so grateful for Creative Roots Ministry showing up and growing up in this world and being that lighthouse that you can all return to in the storm. At any time you will see this light glowing, and you will know you can come home at any time. We are here for you. We love you. We appreciate you. We know who you really are beneath the condensation, beneath the mire. I love you so much. Have a most awesome day, an awesome week, and remember, you're not alone.